What is up, everybody? Welcome to another video. This time we're doing some predictions for the upcoming Formula 1 season. Last year, we did the predictions, we did it after testing, and we did a 1 through 20, and boy, that took forever. So we're going to do it a little bit different this year. We're doing it before testing, so I have no idea, and this could look completely wrong in about 3 weeks' time, which would be absolutely tragic. And also, we're just going to do some little bits and bobs. We're not going to do a 1 through 20. That takes too long, and by the time I get through 5 drivers, you're bored anyway. So we're going to do it a little bit different, and we're going to start with the biggest overachiever for this season. So I'm going to do one driver, one team, and then I'm going to discuss a little bit why I think that. And the first overachiever that I've gone for is Carlos Sainz. Now, you probably know why I'm saying Carlos Sainz, because he's losing his seat to Lewis Hamilton next season. And yeah, that is partly. It might light a little fire under his arse and tell him to get going so he can get a seat for next year and prove to other teams what he can do. Although I do think he might have a seat lined up, maybe at Kick Sauber until Audi comes in, especially with the tweet that he posted out, which kind of made it seem like he had a seat kind of already lined up. But I think Carlos Sainz is gonna do well this year. I think he's gonna beat out Leclerc, and he's gonna be the overachiever in that Ferrari team. Now, the team that I think is going to be the overachiever is the Visa, Cash App, Credit Card, Debit Card, Red Bull Racing Team, whatever they're called. Terrible name, but I think they'll actually be decent this year. I think they can make a push towards that midfield, maybe towards Alpine and also Williams as well. I mean, they were closing in on Williams last year. It looked like for a second they were going to get them, but I think Visa, Cash App, Red Bull with Daniel Ricciardo and Yuki Tsunoda, it's a great lineup. They can push forward, they can push into that midfield, and they could get some extra money on that credit card. Now, going the opposite route, we've gone from overachiever. Now we're going to the underachievers. Who is going to be the stinkers of the year? We're going to start Kevin Magnussen. I mean, he had a rotter last year. I think this is his last year in Formula 1. Nico Hülkenberg's going to wipe him off the floor, and he's going to lose his seat at the end of the year. That's my prediction. So Kevin Magnussen, he's going to be poor this year. Haas are going to be terrible as well, so he's probably going to score no points, and he'll lose his seat, and Hülkenberg will keep it. So Magnussen, I think your time's up, mate, and that is what I'm predicting. And the biggest underachiever for a team might be a little bit of a obscure one. You might not expect it. Alpine. I don't think Alpine are going to do as well as they did last year. Last year, they were probably the most boring team on the grid when you look at it. P5 in the Constructors. They were middle of the road. Yes, they got a couple podiums somehow with Ocon and Gasly. But yeah, they were just boring. They were always just in the middle in that P8, P9, P10 position. And you just didn't really know about them. I think Williams, Visa, Cash App, Red Bull, bop, bop, bop. They're going to jump ahead of them, and they're going to give them a nice little battle. And Alpine, I'm going to say it, 7th or below in the championship. And I'm going to come back to this video in about 9 months' time, and you guys are going to be like, wow, this guy is a genius. So Alpine as the biggest underachievers for 2024. Heated rivalry. Who do we think is going to have the biggest rivalry in 2024? Now, this could be a teammate battle. This could be any 2 drivers on the grid. And I think I might have gone for a bit of an obvious one here. Lewis Hamilton versus George Russell, aka Lewis Hamilton versus Mercedes. I think there's going to be some conflict there, especially as the season goes on. George Russell might get some preferential treatment. Hamilton will get more and more frustrated, especially if that Mercedes car is not up to scratch. He's going to be a little bit annoyed. Actually, I mean, if the Mercedes car is fighting for P1, maybe there will be more of a rivalry there. But I think if it's like 4th best car, it's gonna be a battle. Hamilton's gonna be frustrated. Him and Russell are gonna come to contact in the races again, and I think it's just gonna be boiling up, ready for explosion at the end of Hamilton's contract. And you could see fireworks between the two, and Toto Wolff siding with Russell. I think that could go really sour, and it could be a sour ending for Hamilton if the car is up to scratch and somehow they're fighting Red Bull, which would be almost insane. Then I think it wouldn't be as bad. I mean, that might be a hot take in itself. I think it'll be worse if they're fighting for P6, P5 every race. than if they're fighting for P1, because Hamilton is going to become frustrated and he's going to feel like they're siding with Russell. So that is my opinion on the take. I think that's going to be a heated rivalry. If it is a heated rivalry because they're fighting for P1, I am taking that point anyway. Race winners. Who is going to win a race in 2024? I'm going to say the first one right now. Max Verstappen. We know that's going to happen. So Max Verstappen will win a race. Who else is going to win a race? We had 3 race winners last year. We had Verstappen, Perez, and Sainz. And I do think Sergio Perez is going to win again. He has to. He's in the fastest car in the grid. At least if it is the fastest car again next year. He has to win. So I'm going Verstappen, Perez. I'm also predicting Sainz to get another race win next year. Going along with the biggest overachiever. I feel like he kind of has to win a race if he's going to be the overachiever. I also think Leclerc's going to win a race. I think there's going to be more race winners. That Ferrari's going to be up to scratch a little more if they figure out the tyre problems that they're having. The raw pace was there. The qualifying pace for Ferrari was there. So I think they have potential to get a couple race wins next year. I think both drivers are going to get one. And I've got one more driver who I think is going to win a race. Is it Lewis Hamilton? Nope. Is it Russell? No, I think Mercedes is going to be a little stinky. It's going to be Lando Norris. He's going to finally do it. Lando Norris is going to win a race next year. Not Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris. 5 race winners for next year. That'll be better than last year, which was only 3. I mean, 5 still isn't a lot, but we'll take 5 race winners. Those are my predicted race winners for 2024. And finally, we get to the last prediction, which is the World Champions. That's the Drivers' Championship and also the Constructors' Championship. And it's kind of obvious. I got to go with it. Max Verstappen and Red Bull. I mean, it is very hard to go against a team that's just won 23 of the 24 races with it last year, or 22 of the 23, and Verstappen winning like 19 of them. You can't go against a team and a driver that's done that the previous year and there's been no regulation changes, or very minimal regulation changes. That is a combination that's going to be difficult to beat, at least until 2026. So Verstappen, Red Bull, they're the world champions. And I mean, that would be the end of the video, but we've got a couple questions from people in the comments that are left in a post. Yes, we did actually get a couple people commented. I couldn't believe it. You know, it was unbelievable. I thought I was going to have to get out a second account and start typing away. But no, we did actually get a couple of predictions. So let's go over to them. Right, so we got 2 predictions, and 2's better than none, so we'll take it that way. Anyway, the first one comes from Arsenal FC fan, and as a Chelsea fan myself, piss off. But anyway, he's predicted that a shock new championship winner, so neither Max Verstappen or Lewis Hamilton will win the championship. And he's even got to put Carlos Sainz or George Russell. That is as bold as they come. I mean, to say that Verstappen or Hamilton won't win it, I mean, it's pretty much saying that Verstappen won't win it because I don't think Hamilton will anyway. But to then say Sainz or Russell, I think that's a bit mental. They're both kind of you'd look at them as the number 2 drivers in their team, even though they're technically not. But if you look at Ferrari, you'll probably expect Leclerc to be favoured over Sainz to win the title, and then Hamilton would be favourite to win the title over Russell, say if they were in the fastest car on the grid. So that is a bold prediction and a half. If it comes true, you're a genius. And then the second prediction that we have is from Scott Barnes 3116. I don't know why you have so many numbers, mate. But anyway, Scott Barnes says that 4 different teams will win a race this year. Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, and then a surprise winner from a midfield team. He's not including Mercedes. And Mercedes are not a midfield team. So I'm going to assume that midfield team would have to be Aston Martin. But are they still considered a midfield team? I'd say so. So Aston Martin, Alpine. I think that is as bold as they come. Considering we had 2 teams win it last year and Ferrari only won 1 race, Red Bull won the rest of them. I mean, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, I could kind of see. If you would have put Mercedes in there, I'd have been a little bit more like, okay, this is possible. But then to say that it's going to be Aston Martin, you're hoping Aston Martin are coming out good. Otherwise, this hot take, not sure if it's going to hit. But that is a good hot take, and that'll be interesting to see if that happens. And I have actually decided to change one of my predictions as well. We are changing that Lewis Hamilton is also going to win a race this year. I think he's going to win 1 more race at Mercedes before he dips. So Lewis Hamilton to win another race. Put it in the predictions. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time, and I'll probably see you guys in 8 months when this video is just completely wrong, or in 3 weeks it'll probably be completely wrong after testing. So anyway, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.